All right, so you're ready to create a roadmap, but not just one that sits on a shelf, right? You want one that actually gets used.
That's exactly what we're talking about
We're
today.
breaking down expert advice on road mapping workshops.
So you can create a roadmap that really guides your team.
But before we even get to the workshop itself,
Yeah, you got to prep.
like baking a cake, you can't just start without the ingredients, right?
Exactly. And this prep is about setting yourselves up for success, more than just booking the room and sending invites.
So it's really about getting everyone on the same page before you even walk in the room.
Yeah, it's about making sure everyone understands why you're doing this in the first place.
Okay, so step one is,
Define your why. And I don't mean just saying we need a roadmap. What's the real purpose here?
give me an example.
Like, are we trying to make sure everyone understands the user experience for a new product? Or is it more about figuring out what features we're prioritizing?
Ah, okay. So two very different roadmaps.
Very different. So once you know your why,
Then what?
you got to figure out the scope of your roadmap and who should be involved.
Right, because too many people and things can go sideways.
Exactly. There are three main scopes: product, field, and specialty. So say you're making a project management app. Product would be all the specific features.
Makes sense.
Field would zoom out and look at the bigger picture of project management tools. Where does your app fit in?
Okay, and specialty.
Specialty is laser focus on one area, like maybe just the security features of that app.
Gotcha, so you pick the scope and then
Assemble your team.
crack team of experts.
Exactly. You want a mix of people, different perspectives, people who get stuff done.
And once you have the team,
You gotta tap into any existing knowledge.
ooh, I like this. So we're not starting from scratch.
Exactly. Look at any old roadmaps.
Well,
Things like user journey maps, service blueprints,
those are gold.
user research, customer feedback, support logs.
Support logs are great. You find some interesting stuff in there.
They can be. So yeah, don't start from zero. There's tons of information already out there.
This is great. So we've got our purpose, our team, and we've gathered all this intel. What's next?
Well, now we're actually going to get into the workshop itself.
Okay, so we're prepped for this workshop. We've got our purpose, our team, our research. But how do we actually run this thing?
Well, you're going to need some sticky notes.
Seriously, I thought those were just for my to-do list.
Haha, no. They're like your secret weapon in a road mapping workshop. You can brainstorm with them, get organized.
Visualize the roadmap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're key for affinity diagramming. Remember that?
Yeah.
So each sticky note, it can be anything. A user need, a feature, a risk, whatever you're thinking about.
And then you start moving them around, making groups.
Exactly. It's like you're creating this map, but it's visual. And when you can move things around, it just, I don't know, it sparks something.
It's different than just talking about it, for sure.
Totally. But even though sticky notes are great, you don't want to be the only one doing everything, right?
Oh, you mean like facilitating, taking notes? Oh, and grabbing more coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to burn out. So delegate,
Hmm.
have someone else be the note taker, someone keep time,
Makes sense. Spread the love.
and it gets more people involved.
So, sticky notes and delegating. What
That's
else?
the agenda. Don't forget the agenda.
Right. Because without that, we're just going to go off on tangents all day.
Exactly. You got to have a plan. It keeps you focused. Make sure you cover everything.
So how detailed does it need to be?
You want to outline the activities, how much time for each, when to take breaks.
Gotta have those breaks.
Keeps the energy up. But another thing that's super important is setting realistic expectations.
Like, what are we actually going to accomplish in this workshop?
Yeah, because you don't want people coming in thinking they're going to walk out with a perfect roadmap, you know?
And then they're disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Right. So be upfront. Tell everyone what you're aiming for. Is this a high-level roadmap, or are we getting into the weeds?
So everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. Transparency is key.
Okay, so we've done the prep work. We know what we're doing and why. And we have our workshop toolkit ready. Time to actually do this thing.
Yeah, it's like we've been rehearsing and now it's opening night.
Perfect analogy.
Uh-huh.
So walk me through it. What does a good workshop agenda look like?
Well, keep in mind there's no one right way to do this right now. You can adjust it as needed.
Of course.
But generally you want to start with introductions.
But we're not just talking about names and job titles here. right?
Well, got to be more fun than that. Think icebreakers. Get people laughing, get some talking.
Because when people relax, they're more likely to actually, participate.
Exactly. Okay, so once the ice is broken, we move on to something I like to call hopes and fears.
Oh, that sounds kind of like ominous.
It's not. It's actually a great way to get everyone aligned. What are we hoping to get out of this roadmap? What are our concerns?
So you get those things out in the open right away.
Exactly. Deal with them head on. Okay, so after hopes and fears, We're going to set the stage.
Provide some context.
Yeah. Like, what's the background of this project? Who are the stakeholders? That kind of stuff.
Because if you don't have the full picture, the roadmap's not going to be that helpful.
Exactly. And now's the time to bring in all that information you gathered during the prep phase.
Ah, yes. All those insights we talked about.
But it's not enough to just like dump it all on them. You got to connect the dots for them.
Make it relevant.
Exactly. Okay, so once everyone's on the same page about all that, then comes the fun part, distilling the themes. This is where you turn all those individual ideas into something bigger.
This is where the magic happens.
I like it. It's usually a two-part thing. First, everyone takes some time to analyze some of those inputs we talked about, user research, customer feedback, that kind of stuff. And they're looking for problems that the roadmap can help solve.
Okay, love it.
Then they get together in small groups and start grouping similar problems together. Each group gets a name.
Creating themes.
Exactly. So now we've got these themes. We're going to flesh them out a little bit, maybe add some detail, think about who these themes are for, how we'll measure success, that kind of thing.
Sounds good. What's next?
Prioritization.
Oh boy, here come the tough decisions.
Haha, yeah. So there are a lot of ways to prioritize. One way is to just have everyone vote. Which themes are the most important based on whatever criteria you decide on as a group?
So you got to be kind of ruthless here.
Gotta be. And once that's done, you can start putting these themes on a timeline.
Okay, so we're talking quarters, sprints, whatever you use.
Exactly. And remember, this roadmap isn't set in stone, right? It's going to change. But this is a starting point.
This has been great. Thanks for walking us through all of this.
Of course. Hopefully this helps people create a roadmap that actually makes a difference.
That's what we like to hear. All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive. Now go forth and create amazing roadmaps.